Hey guys, what's up? So the last time that I made the papaya curry, I got a lot of inquiries about how to make it and what was in it. So I decided to make a little video of the curry itself, actually, but I couldn't find green papaya, so I got the Bottlegourd instead, or the Upo. So I'll just quickly go over the ingredients. This is fresh grated coconut to make coconut's milk. I've got some turmeric, some mustard seed. This is some celery seed, nutmeg, and some ginger. And then I've got pepper, and some cumin powder, and then red pepper, and a carrot. And that's it. Pretty simple. And we're going to get all this cut up, and then we'll make it. Alright, there we have it. Coconut milk is all squeezed, ready to go. The Upo is cut up. You don't get a whole lot of volume out of the Upo once you get rid of all the seeds. Carrots and peppers, same shape. Same shape. So I got some grated ginger. Now I love ginger, but I love the flavor of ginger, but I do not like biting down onto a big hunk of ginger while I'm eating something. Got the tofu all cut up, ready to be fried. This is seasoned with just salt and pepper. And then of course my spices. Okay, we are ready to start cooking. Now step one is to fry the tofu. Now some of you may say this is not healthy. This is spring oil, and the tofu really doesn't hold on too much oil. It's just to make the outside nice and crispy. So the oil isn't going to be going, it's got some steam. The oil isn't going to be going into the dish itself. Alright, now that the tokwa is nice and crispy, we're going to go ahead and make our curry. Now the trick to making curry is to let the pan get nice and hot before you put the oil in. Because the reason is because you don't want to burn your spices. So you're going to put your oil in. Oops, that's about enough. And then you're going to start adding your spices. I like to put my fennel first. That's going to start to crackle and pop. Little mustard seed. Turmeric. No, I don't measure. I just eyeball it. I've been doing this for so long. I actually have to put the phone down to do this, but I'll be back after the spices are done. Alright, so our spices look good. We got a good base going. We'll start adding our vegetables. I'm just going to go ahead and pop in my peppers and my my peppers and my carrots. I was gonna say onions, and I know you guys are thinking onions, and probably a lot of Filipino cooks out there are saying, I can't believe he's not using onions and garlic. I do not cook. Sorry, I stumbled there. I do not cook with onions and garlic. A lot of spice coming off of that. Put on our Upo. And add some salt. Now there's many reasons why I don't cook with onion and garlic. Number one is I just think it makes everything taste like onion and garlic. And number two, I am a Hare Krishna, and we don't cook with onions and garlic. They're low vibrational food. Okay. So now that we've got our vegetables nice and covered with the spices, we're going to add in 1/2 of the coconut milk. Now this is the actual final, what they call the final wash, or the third wash of the coconut milk. And this is kind of weaker. It's more water than it is coconut milk, and this is for the simmering. So we're going to bring that up to a rolling boil. Now a rolling boil means that even when you stir it, it still boils. Okay, that means you can't disturb the boil. Once that comes up to a nice rolling boil, I'm going to cut the heat, and I'm going to leave that simmer just like that, stirring occasionally, for about 10-15 minutes until the vegetables are nice and soft. I'll be back. Alright, so as you can see, I actually let this go a little bit too long. The vegetables are getting too soft, but I think they'll be okay. They're playing music in the background with Google. So here we're going to add the rest of our coconut milk. Actually, that's probably enough. Reserve that. One thing about coconut milk, if you're going to use the fresh grated, I've found that really as soon as you squeeze it, you run the water through and squeeze it, it's best to use it as quickly as possible because it does go bad rather fast. So I'm going to bring this back to a boil and just let it reduce. Bring it back to a boil, reduce the heat to a simmer, and just let it simmer and thicken on its own. And I'll be back when it's done. So I'll just leave it simmer just like that, stirring occasionally, but now is about the time I'll add my tofu in there. Get that nice and coated. The tofu will actually get a little bit softer, but it'll still have a nice crunchy texture to it. And right now the sauce will soak into it. And tofu, you got to be bold. Be bold with your seasoning. Be bold with your flavors. It's by nature it's pretty bland, but it's got a nice texture. So, all right, we're just gonna leave that simmer, and like I said, I'll be back when it is done. All right, so when we get to this point where normally what I like to do is see if it holds onto the back of a spoon, which it's doing. Then we're just about there. So I did add a little bit of cinnamon and some clove, some ground clove to this, just to give it some extra kick. I kind of like that extra spice. We're gonna leave that sit, let the sauce thicken up, and then we'll put it on a plate with some rice and have our dinner.